Have you ever wondered what happens when two of the most powerful criminal empires in history collide? That's exactly the story of the Medellín and Cali cartels in Colombia. These weren't ordinary gangs. They were massive organizations that controlled borders, influenced governments, and shipped cocaine around the world. How did two groups go from uneasy allies to deadly enemies? What drove them to fight so fiercely? And how did their conflict shape the global drug trade? In this video, we'll explore the war between Medellín and Cali, the events that made it so brutal, and the lessons it leaves about power, betrayal, and survival. If you love true crime stories and want to understand the secrets behind these criminal empires, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story from the Narco files. Are you ready to dive into one of the most dangerous wars in cartel history? Let's get started. Origins: two empires rise. The Medellín cartel, led by the notorious Pablo Escobar, rose to power in Colombia during the late 1970s and early 1980s. They became known for their bold violence, fearless smuggling tactics, and tight control over the cocaine trade. Escobar and his associates didn't just sell drugs. They built a reputation that made them feared and famous worldwide. Meanwhile, the Cali cartel took a very different approach. Led by the Rodriguez Orejuela brothers, Gilberto and Miguel, they preferred to operate quietly and strategically. Their focus was on building a business empire, using money, influence, and connections rather than violence to dominate the market. At first, the two cartels cooperated. They divided territories and markets. Medellín focused on South Florida and the Caribbean, while Cali controlled New York and other major U.S. hubs. This division kept conflicts low and profits high for a time. But in the world of organized crime, alliances are fragile. Trust is rare, and ambition is constant. As both cartels grew richer and more powerful, competition became inevitable. What started as cooperation slowly turned into tension, rivalry, and eventually one of the most violent conflicts in the history of the global drug trade. The breakup from allies to enemies. By the late 1980s, tensions between the Medellín and Cali cartels began to grow. Disputes over territory, smuggling routes, and market control were becoming harder to ignore. One of the key turning points came in 1988 when a powerful bombing destroyed one of Pablo Escobar's apartment buildings. Many sources linked the attack to the Cali cartel, though the full details remain debated. Escobar saw the bombing as a betrayal, believing the Cali bosses were directly challenging his power. On the other side, the leaders of the Cali cartel felt that Medellín's extreme violence threatened their more subtle, business-focused approach. Both sides were motivated not just by profit, but by fear, survival, and the need to protect their reputation. What began as tension and rivalry soon escalated into open warfare. Medellín's bold and violent tactics clashed with Cali's calculated strategies, resulting in assassinations, ambushes, and a climate of constant fear. The conflict wasn't just a fight over cocaine. It was a battle for control of a global empire, for survival, and for dominance in Colombia's criminal underworld. This war would reshape the country's drug trade forever. How the war played out: assassinations, bombings, and terror. The war between the Medellín and Cali cartels quickly turned deadly. Both sides began targeting not just rival gang members, but leadership and anyone who could send a message. Medellín, led by Pablo Escobar, relied on terror tactics, bombings, assassinations, and public displays of violence to intimidate enemies. The Cali cartel responded in kind, using its own network to strike back and protect its empire. One tragic example of this escalation was the massacre at Hacienda Los Cocos in 1990. Medellín operatives attempted to attack Cali leadership, but the result was catastrophic. Dozens of civilians lost their lives, caught in the crossfire of a war they never started. This incident highlighted a grim reality. In the cartel conflict, ordinary people often paid the heaviest price. The violence wasn't just about territory or money. It was a message, a warning, and a demonstration of power. Fear became as important as profit in the war between these two criminal giants. Intelligence and betrayal. As the war between the Medellín and Cali cartels intensified, the Cali cartel took a strategic approach. They didn't just fight with guns, they used intelligence. Cali developed a network of spies, infiltrating Medellín's operations to learn secrets about shipments, routes, and leaders. This gave them a huge advantage in the conflict. The Cali bosses also began secretly sharing some of this information with the Colombian government and paramilitary groups. By doing so, they could weaken Medellín from the inside without facing direct attacks. In the dangerous world of cartels, trust is everything, and Cali turned that to their benefit. Betrayal became a weapon as powerful as money or firepower. The Medellín cartel, known for bold violence, was now vulnerable to unseen attacks, and this strategy showed that brains could sometimes outweigh brute force. The balance of power was shifting, and the war had entered a new, deadly phase: global reach and money. The Cali cartel expanded quietly into Europe and Asia, laundering billions and investing in legal businesses to strengthen their empire. Time they avoided attention, building power with patience and strategy. The Medellín cartel, led by Pablo Escobar, operated boldly and publicly. Explosions, assassinations, and flashy violence made them infamous worldwide, but also a constant target for governments and rival groups. This contrast shows an important lesson. In the drug world, how you operate matters as much as how much power you have. Quiet efficiency often outlasts chaos, and strategy can win over raw violence. Key turning points. By the late 1980s, the rivalry between Medellín and Cali escalated into open warfare. One major event was the 1988 bombing of the Monaco building in Medellín, which destroyed Escobar's apartment complex and marked a turning point in the conflict. Wikipedia. This act symbolized how fragile alliances had become and how quickly violence could spiral out of control. In response, the Cali cartel supported the formation of Los Pepes, a death squad financed to target Escobar and his allies. Wikipedia +1. Los Pepes worked with paramilitary forces and provided intelligence that severely weakened Medellín's network. The strategy was effective but ruthless, showing how betrayal and violence intertwined in the cartel world. The war finally reached its climax with the death of Pablo Escobar in 1993. Wikipedia +1. Escobar's death led to the rapid collapse of the Medellín cartel. Meanwhile, the Cali cartel, which had operated more quietly and strategically, rose to power. This shift demonstrates how strategy, patience, and exploiting your rival's weaknesses can change the balance of power. These events remind us that in the world of cartels, timing, intelligence, and alliances are as deadly as guns and bombs. The aftermath: rise of Cali, fall of Medellín. By the early 1990s, the Medellín cartel was falling apart. Pablo Escobar was dead, many of his top lieutenants had been captured or killed, and the organization had lost its grip on the cocaine trade. The collapse left a power vacuum in Colombia, and the Cali cartel was ready to take over. Unlike Medellín, the Cali cartel focused on strategy over spectacle. Led by the Rodriguez Orejuela brothers, they controlled major supply routes to the United States, Europe, and Asia, moving tons of cocaine with less violence and more secrecy. PBS +1. Their operations were like a corporate enterprise, laundering billions, investing in legal businesses, and bribing officials when needed. This quiet efficiency allowed them to dominate the trade, while avoiding the kind of international attention that had brought Medellín down. However, even the most careful empire has vulnerabilities. By the mid-1990s, law enforcement caught up. Many Cali leaders were arrested, exposing weaknesses in the organization. The fall of Cali showed that in the narco world, power is temporary, and survival depends on intelligence, strategy, and timing as much as on money or muscle. Human cost, violence, communities, lives lost. The Medellín and Cali Cartel War wasn't just about cocaine, money, or headlines. It had real consequences for everyday people. Families lived in constant fear as neighborhoods became battlegrounds. Bombings, assassinations, and shootouts were not rare. They were part of daily life in cities like Medellín and Cali. Wikipedia schools closed during times of heightened violence, streets emptied after dark, and even innocent civilians became unintended victims of the cartel's clashes. The terror tactics of the Medellín cartel, bombings, kidnappings, and public murders, kept the population on edge. Meanwhile, the Cali cartel, while more discreet, still spread fear through intimidation, bribery, and targeted attacks on rivals. Behind the headlines of cocaine, tons seized and leaders captured were stories of families torn apart, children growing up amid violence, and communities scarred for years. This human cost reminds us that the narco world isn't just a tale of power and wealth. It's also a story of fear, survival, and suffering. For every kingpin or cartel strategy, there were countless lives forever changed, proving that the impact of this war went far beyond the criminal empires themselves. Lessons: what the war teaches us. The war between Medellín and Cali teaches us that power is fragile. Even the strongest cartels fell when they lost support or faced betrayal. Trust can break quickly. Alliances built on money and control collapse if one side feels threatened. The Cali Cartel proved that quiet, strategic business moves often outlast flashy, violent displays. And in this dangerous world, survival drives decisions. Many actions weren't about ideology or revenge, but about staying alive. Behind the violence and empire building, these lessons show how fragile and human even the largest criminal organizations really are. Why it still matters today. The war between Medellín and Cali didn't just end with deaths and arrests. It changed the global drug trade forever. Cocaine routes shifted, especially through Mexico, and law enforcement learned new ways to track and stop cartels. The battle also shaped how criminal empires operate, showing that strategy, secrecy, and influence matter as much as violence. Today's cartels still reflect lessons from this conflict. By studying Medellín versus Cali, we understand not just history, but why modern drug networks behave the way they do, and why power in this world is never permanent. Conclusion: the battle between the Medellín and Cali cartels wasn't just a fight over money. It changed the entire drug trade. It shows that even the most powerful criminal empires can fall when rivalries, greed, and strategy collide. What part of this war surprises you the most? Was there a moment that shocked or fascinated you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed this deep dive into cartel history, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more stories from the Narco files. The past can teach us a lot about power, loyalty, and survival, even in the most dangerous worlds.